Motorsports Magazine's Grease and Gears TV, and we're coming to you live today from the Carlisle Fairgrounds in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. And man, this is great that I got to catch up with this man right here. Now, obviously, this is Grady Pfeiffer, head man, organizer, everything for the IMS shows. IMS.
I just work here.
You make it work here. IMS shows 40 years have been going on, and this year, this is what we're going to talk about today. One of the biggest, and personally, what I'm hearing on the street, the best changes that's ever been in the show series. You guys moving to the outdoor venues. Third one now. How is this working out from the management side of things? What do you see?
Well, we're still experiencing the change from indoors to outdoors because it does require some changes to things, how you set things up. But so far, so good. We had a great show in Chicago a couple weeks ago, and we're looking forward to this one being good. And then the next three are in October weekend, one weekend right after the other, and the last one will be in Southern California.
Well, like I said, from the street level, there's a lot of excitement, a lot of talk, which is really, really good. I mean, a 40-year history. I know just from having a business for 25 years, you constantly have to look for that thing that's going to ramp things up and bring excitement.
Always change.
And man, this is especially, you know, you have the benefit here of being right against the turnpike. So as you're going down the street, you can see what's going on here. And this is a historic event site to begin
Correct.
with.
Yeah, it's a very nice event. We're happy to be here. Our OEMs are happy, and that's a big part of our pull for the customers to come in, because we're doing a lot of test rides in the shows now.
That's what I was going to ask you. So I imagine that opens
more,
up.
hopefully more riders, which we need.
Yep.
So it's been great so far. And when you walk around the show when it's open and you walk by, you know, the Harley booth or the Kawasaki booth, the bikes are never in there. People are out on the road with them. They want to ride the bikes and test them. That's been a big plus for us.
Well, another great thing too, I mean, I know, you know, kind of as we went through the last generation of all of this stuff, that show hall thing, it was okay, you know, but when you do that, like you guys do show after show after show, it's the same personality every time.
Right.
This gives you the ability that every show has its own personality.
Yep, and because each venue is so different, being outdoors, and the setup is all different. So, and it's I would say it's a little different customer.
Yeah.
It's you know, more the customer that's really looking to find out what kind of a bike he wants to have.
Yeah.
And the retail side of it for us, as far as the retail type of vendors, it's not as big. We're trying to get more in, but it's primarily test riding and checking out the new motorcycles and whatever. It's really good.
Well, tell everybody the details. When do the gates open here?
Gates open tomorrow on Friday at 1 o'clock, and then Saturday and Sunday at 9, I believe it is, and goes till 5, 6 o'clock at night. So we got 2.5 full days.
And you can check it out at, you know, find out more information on the website.
Correct. Go to motorcycles.com. It gives you all the information you need to know.
Is that motorcycleshows.com?
Motorcycleshows.com.
And then you guys have full complement of social media and everything.
Exactly.
We're going to be bringing a lot of live stuff here throughout the weekend.
Good.
We brought some bikes out for the show. We're actually going to go talk to Bob now. The bike show is just starting to fill up, but I know the guys, this is where Cycle Source started, is in Pennsylvania, so I know the kind of bikes that are going to show up here. You guys aren't going to be disappointed for the JMP Ultimate Motor.
We are very happy with what we think is coming here. We've got probably 30 plus motorcycles, which will be great, and JMP is very happy about it. So are we, and the bosses are happy. So that's what's important, and I think the people will really enjoy the bikes.
Well, ladies and gentlemen at home, Grady Pfeiffer,
Pleasure meeting you.
head
Thank
man
you.
here. If you see him here while you're out here this weekend, don't bother him because he got a lot to do.
Don't. I always want to be bothered.
We'll check in with you
All
throughout
right.
the weekend.
Thank you,
Thanks
sir.
a lot.
You bet.
Let's go see Bob and talk about the JMP Ultimate Motor while we're out here. You can see a couple of our crusty old choppers we brought. So in here, this will be filled end to end with all the bikes that are in the JMP Cycles Ultimate Builder. I have the privilege of knowing the director of this show.
Hey, Chris.
You don't got to go nowhere anyway. So this is Bob K. Everyone in this industry knows Bob K. If you don't, Google him. Isn't that what the kids say? Google me.
Yeah,
Google me.
Google me, and there's about 50 pages on that Google thing, I think, or something like that.
Can't get away from it anymore.
No,
You used
no,
to be
no.
able to hide your past.
Yeah, well, I always say I'm glad I was born in the 70s or partied in the 70s because I did a lot of stupid shit. Nobody has a record of it, So.
So here we are. You guys, we were just talking to Grady. You guys
Yeah.
are into your third show of the outdoor series.
Yep.
You're directing the whole JMP Ultimate Builder Custom Bike
Correct,
Show.
correct.
How has it been? Because what we're hearing on the street, man, is this is night and day. It changes everything for IMS. How has it been for the bike show?
Well, for the bike show, it's been good. A lot of guys weren't sure we were going to have a covered area, and I insisted on that. You know the types of bikes. We pull out some top quality bikes. And what's really nice, Ultimate Builder tries to bring together the experienced builders and the new garage guys. So we can build a camaraderie and really grow this show bike scene,
Yeah.
So it's been great. So we've had new guys come out, like in Chicago, it was almost a whole new group of guys. Interesting, in Chicago, we had a lot of bagger guys there,
Yeah.
but an R1 won freestyle. Beautiful
Okay.
bike, had custom frame, every type of trick brake, everything you wanted to do. So it's evolving with the whole industry. We've got to have a great turnout here in Carlisle this weekend. And people are they're finding out that, the bike show's the same, we're running the same kind of rules. The attendance overall for the show has been incredible with these demos. I mean, you want to buy a new bike, you come down and they're here. They're here from dirt bikes, electric bikes, side by
That's
sides.
what I felt like when they first started talking about this. I was like, it was genius because not only another thing we mentioned to Grady is those shows were the same personality, show after show
Yes.
after show. It looked like the same show, it felt like the same show. These adopt the personality of wherever you're at, but then also opening it up and letting people actually ride bikes, and the action is going on. Like it's way more inviting, exhilarating.
It seems to me we're getting more riders, coming, bike people, I don't know how else to say it, but it's they're coming out, they're checking out, and of course the Ultimate Builder Show has been one of the top attractions. This is our 12th year since we started the deal. People love seeing the custom bikes, and we always we space them out so they can get around, take pictures and stuff like that. So, no, it's going very well. We got 5 more shows coming up, so we're looking for that. I think we're going to do California at the end. Yeah, it's a busy summer. It's I've been doing a lot of driving on the road, checking everything out.
So there's still time to sign up. Do you have to register ahead of time? Can you register?
No, you can register up till the Friday of the show at noontime. So I try to tell people register online. With the new process and protocols, everything is done online, and then you just come in and verify it when you get
That was
here.
nice and easy. We signed up and everything was taken care of when I got here.
It's really slick. It helps me set up the show too. I get a better idea of what's going on. But for every show up until that Friday, around 11, 12 o'clock, you can sign up. Have to be in. I had some guys, they think because it's outside, it's a one-day show, but it's the same 3-day show. Everything's undercover. Texas is coming up next in October. We're going to be in one of the NASCAR garages, along with the vintage bikes. That's something new we've been doing this year. We weren't able to do here. We put the vintage bikes and the custom bikes together.
Yeah.
What a display that makes. It just knocks your socks off.
Now you're working with the AMCA or anything on that?
Our guy Brady works with AMCA, gets the different clubs. We usually get 3 or 4 clubs that come in, and they'll bring in the bikes and set up. So yeah, no, very cool, very cool.
Well, I'll tell you what, I mentioned this a minute ago in the interview with Grady, but I'm counting on my Pennsylvania guys. This is where Cycle Source came from. This is where we started. This is where we're still based, is out of Pennsylvania. I know the kind of bikes that live in this area. I'm counting on you guys. Get out here. There's still time that you can sign up online or show up and put the bike in the show out here. We want to show the world what goes on in this part of the country.
Yeah, you got till tomorrow at noontime, so go on motorcycleshows.com or call me directly, 817-312-0380.
Are you out of your mind?
That number is internationally known, so I don't even try to hide it anymore. Are you kidding me?
All right, well, listen, man, it's so great to see you.
Yes, likewise, Chris.
I'm so glad that we came out for a minute because I'm running to everybody to know.
Well, I was really pleased because I know you run a crazy schedule too, so it's really good to see you come out here.
Bob K, ladies and gentlemen, check them out. Get in on the JMP Cycles Ultimate Builder Custom Bike Show. We're actually going to go grab a couple guys that I know from the area too that are in the show. I'll catch up with you on Saturday. And let's talk to these cats here. Talk to this cat, right? So an absolute honor and a privilege to get a minute to talk to this man. As far as custom bike building goes and builders that have been known in this area and across the country, but from this area, this man right here needs no introduction from me. Later on, I'm going to introduce this guy over here because him not so many. But Ed, how's it going? You guys are showing up to do the Ultimate Builder here, but mostly this is your hometown, so there
Right.
couldn't be a custom bike party without you.
This is where I was born and raised, and actually, I lived. You stood at the on top of the grandstand, looked over there, the top of my house. That's where I used to live before I thought the grass was greener on the other side.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, it's going good. I have a problem getting around a little bit, but you know, it's just one of those things.
Well, and like I was saying a second ago here, not only are you known around the country for custom bikes, one of the founders of the Hamsters. Talk about some of the stuff, like you've had bikes on the cover of Street Chopper and all the big magazines of the day. Your name is in the history books for custom motorcycles.
I had Street Choppers, custom cycle, when what's his name that really pushed Arlen stuff back in the day, and I had built a bike, and I had it in Daytona, and Street Chopper approached me about getting it shot. I'm like, yeah, okay. But Arlen's like, Ed, what's his name? And I forget what his name is. Real nice guy, but he has passed away. He said, get him to shoot it, he'll give me a better deal. Well, I did, and then it kind of blew up in my face.
Yeah.
Because they're like, hey, you gave me the rights to that, but back
The politics of magazine.
yeah, back in the day, it was. Then we went to Diggers and built those. Had a lot of time doing that. I enjoyed the time building those bikes, and I had a good friend, Ken Rasp, that helped me do a lot of my welding and fabricating. But yeah, I had fun. I had fun doing this, and then I met Meathead there. And
Come here.
and
Come
said-
over here.
And introduced him, and I asked if he's interested in being in the Hamptons, and he was like, yeah. And then his head got real big. You know what I mean? Huh?
I can't even wear a hat
Didn't
anymore.
even fit through the door a couple times.
He's not so bad.
I'm only kidding.
I see him. He's come a long way. You must be teaching him some good stuff.
Well,
Yeah.
it is funny because, guys are trying to do stuff now, and Dave Berwitz and I talked, and they're like, Ed, they don't even have a clue what the hell we did back in the
Yeah.
day. I mean, the shit. But back in the day, Arlen always gave me stuff at cost. Hell, you could buy a Springer for like $110. Now it's big time.
We were just talking to Mondo from Denver,
Oh, yeah.
and one of his old ads, I had pulled up one of his old ads, and it was, if you sent them your tank and your frame, they would do all the molding for $75.
Yeah.
And send it back to you. Yeah, I mean, dude, you're talking about 100 hours worth of.
Yeah.
Send it to him and say, can you honor this? Can you honor this ad I found?
Yep.
But when Arlen would be building something a little different than the norm, he would call me. Ed, are you interested? Well, hell yeah. If you're doing it. And a couple of the tanks that he had Munn build, it was just for him and I.
Yeah.
People were calling him, and he's like, no, it's just those two.
That's Boomerang.
Yeah. And, back in the day it was fun. Nowadays,
It depends on where you chase it. I always say this: we're lucky from where we're from in Pennsylvania, especially over by me. It's a really depressed area. So if you're going to do something with bikes over there, they're all blue collar guys. We're all the working man. So you got to have friends.
Sure.
Usually only one guy has a decent space to do anything.
Right.
One guy can weld. One guy can paint. Maybe you're lucky enough to know a guy with a mill. And that kind of group mentality. We still have a lot of that.
Yeah, well,
so we're super lucky.
Yeah, we have a couple really good shops right in our area, so believe it or not, there wasn't and there isn't any rivalry. We just work together. More so people think. People on the outside side think we have so much rivalry, really don't. You know, we work together.
And not to be rude, you know, he calls him meathead. I'm not quite there yet, but this is Tom Kiefer from Franklin Church Shoppers. Tom builds an incredible motorcycle. Actually, we're going to take you over and show you his knucklehead here in a minute. That's coming up in an issue of Cycle Source magazine, but we've been a fan of his work for a long time. It was actually how I got to meet Ed the first time, and we're actually shooting this motorcycle while we're out here too. So I want to remind all you guys, there's still time to get in the show, and we're going to be out here looking for a couple bikes to shoot. I just picked up a shovelhead chopper over there that we're going to shoot. We're looking for stuff for the magazine, so don't miss out on that.
Cool.
Right?
Great.
All right,
Well,
gentlemen.
I'm glad that you decided to come join us.
Yes, sir.
You
Yes,
know what I
sir.
mean?
It's good. It's good to get away from it. That's me and him had 3 hours of quiet on the way out. It's pretty
Well,
nice.
but I meant the hamsters.
Oh yeah. Yes, sir.
A lot of people don't know who Jimmy Leahy is, and if it wasn't for Jimmy Leahy, there would not be a hamster nation.
Well, and here's what's funny. I had a couple friends, you know, from my chopper buddies. They're like, "Why, 25 years of doing a magazine? Why are you gonna, you know, try out for the hamsters now?" And I'm like, well, here's the thing. Like, when you really get to know cats like this and Dave Pirowitz, and when I was in 2 winters ago, I got to interview Dave, and he was talking about the old, they call it Detroit chill, and how he would load up a bike in his van and the kids and everything and go out to shows. And I'm like, it's really not, I mean, age, you progress, your building progresses. The thing, we like to stay in a hotel here and there when we can now instead of sleeping in a van, but that's really where all of this starts for everybody.
How many stories have you told me you put in the back wheel or something on a bike in the back of the van on the way to Daytona?
Well, I was invited. You remember that show that Jimmy and his brother, they're from Detroit, Yosemite Sam?
Yeah.
Remember they had that show? Well, I put my bike in the back of my Ranchero, and I'm headed to Detroit. Oh my God, I got on the turnpike. It started snowing, it started raining, and it was that windy, it was blowing the manhole covers up off of in Detroit. So I get to Detroit, and Arlen's like, "Oh, geez, Ed, I'm glad you could make it." Unloaded my bike, and Dave showed up with a couple of his bikes, and we spent the weekend having fun and carrying on. Well, at the end, they were handing out the awards. We got nothing, right? I'm like, "Jimmy, you didn't even judge my bike." "Oh, come here, come on." He goes in, he said, "Here, you want this?" He give me a big plaque and all this shit. I'm like, I don't get it. Hell, it was 2 o'clock in the morning. Dave's seen it. Now Dave went crazy. "Oh, you didn't do mine?" So they gave him a whole bunch of shit. We left the damn show at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, tired as a bastard.
Right on. But that's, that was what I was getting to, is like, you guys built this thing, it's an honor to get to spend time and hang out with you, let alone, be part of your thing. So I'm happy about it too.
Well, I'm happy that you're on board, friend.
Well, thank you for the time.
Yeah.
We're going to go and look at Tom's knucklehead and see how he's doing with his chopper school.
Now, just watch when you get him on camera. I don't know if the lens is that
He got
wide.
the widescreen, yeah, we're good. Let's go look at this knucklehead.
So I go to school. My roommate
Looks good. Let's come around this side. Sit over here. All right, Tom, to come down here and talk about it. So, how long is it now that you've been building custom bikes and actually had a shingle up?
I started in 1999. I actually was, I went to a motorcycle swap meet up in Harrisburg. First time I went in years. I used to go with my dad here and there, but I went in 99. On the way home, I decided I was going to build a bike. I was always into cars, loved cars, but was always working on bikes with my dad. So I was like, how the hell would I build a bike? I just decided to. The guy sitting beside me goes, "Why don't you build me one?" And I said, "I'll build yours first and learn something on it." Well, the first bike I built turned out pretty nice. It was we bought it online, the rolling chassis with no tires, no wheels, no motor. I put a RevTech in it. It turned out pretty nice. Well, then I built one for myself, and before I got it done, I sold the roller here at the first Carlisle Summer Bike Fest. I was way down in the corner. And when it rained, my water was up to my knees. Everything in my spot washed out. It was pretty ugly, but so I moved spots for the next year. But then I finished another bike, and I started doing Gettysburg Bike Week, and I've been doing Gettysburg Bike Week every year. And it just, not so much Gettysburg Bike Week, but going to Sturgis, meeting Ed, being around the other shops in our area, like Vicious Cycles at the time, Jonesy's Custom Cycle, even Hellion Custom Cycle. Being around some of the guys, seeing some of their stuff, you kind of evolved, you know.
Yeah.
Every bike I built got just a little bit better, a little bit better.
That's the fun of it.
Yeah.
You know, you start challenging yourself with what you can do.
I'm in a little bit of a, I wouldn't say rut, but a groove. I build a lot of the same bobber-esque type bikes now.
You know, this one I got to argue with you. I think this one is another level for you. You really stepped it up. And this was a bike that actually your second year invited for
Yes.
both halves of the Michael Lichter Heavy Metal.
Yeah, we did the motorcycles as the heavy metal show. Michael, I got invited to that show. So I had an old knuckle that I built 10 years ago that had a 93 cubic inch S&S knuckle, Baker 6-speed, 6 4. It's pretty nice. A hardtail to shovel frame with a real panhead rear section that I bought for $200 at the Harrisburg swap meet. I chopped it off. The back section was good. The front was bad. So I made that, and I've been riding that bike around for a while. So I put that bike in last year, and it was a 2-part show. So they wanted an old bike, and they wanted a new bike. So this was the new bike. This bike started with a set of engine cases and a carbon fiber front wheel. That's all I started with. I was like, all right, I know kind of what I want to build, and I just got to make it happen now.
I like that.
I'll tell you what year were the cases?
They're 44. They're actually WW Cycle 44 reman cases because the other originals were broken up. But the original heads, cylinders are V-twin. I built the belt drive from scratch. Bling Cycle sent me some piping. Toast Performance sent me the bends. I mocked it all up. We welded it up, and then I sent it back to Toast, and he polished them, and he polished the front end legs for me. Danny's a great guy. Yeah, really, really good guy.
Right on. Well, listen, man. Thanks for talking us into coming out. It's his fault that we're here this weekend. We're going to be doing stuff from here all weekend. You know, you can see the level of the motorcycles are here. That's that shovelhead that I was telling you guys that I'm going to be shooting on Sunday also. But we'll do a bunch of live stuff here throughout the weekend. I'll bring you guys in when we're shooting bikes and stuff too, and show you some of that stuff. But until then, this is Chris with Cycle Source Magazine, Greasing Gears TV, and we'll see you in Carlisle. Get out here, get your tickets.